I wanted to discuss a little bit about creating art and how artists work on their abilities to become better artists. Usually you may take classes or you just enjoy drawing or painting. You just learn how to do that from school. And then if you really enjoy doing it, which is what I like to do, you just keep working on your craft. Sometimes in school they'll tell you that you should carry a sketchbook. And when I was a student, I did carry a sketchbook. But a lot of times I would feel awkward drawing, and especially in public because you feel embarrassed about what other people are going to be thinking about you, or you don't want people to be looking at your artwork, or you feel embarrassed, especially if it's not the kind of results you wanted to get. So, but the most important thing is to get over that fear, because no one really cares that much about what you're doing. So you're more worried and self-conscious about it than anyone else would be. So what you really have to do is just start working on what you're doing and looking at the life around you. And I have some sketches here of some of the artwork I've done. I carry a sketchbook, and even if I don't have a sketchbook, I just grab a piece of paper, and any kind of scrap paper will do, and I just start drawing, and I draw whatever's in front of me. Sometimes when I'm in a car and someone else is driving, I start looking out the window and I draw the trees, I draw the cars in front of me, I draw the birds, anything that's in front of my vision that I want to get down on paper. And sometimes it's things I don't even enjoy looking at, like telephone poles, or maybe skyscrapers. It's not necessarily the most beautiful thing in the world to me, but I'm drawing it because it's good practice for me to see what's in front of me and to put it down on paper. And also you notice, like, let's say you're drawing a satellite dish, which is something I see a lot of in the city. The satellite dish may not look very exciting, but then when you're going past it, you'll see 1 minute it's a circle, and 1 minute it's like a crescent shape. And it's really difficult to see the satellite dish from all angles and still make it look like a satellite dish. So even in the most mundane objects, you really can get the best experience in capturing what you see, because you really have to work at it, and it's challenge to make it look like that object, especially when you're drawing it from many different angles. And the reason I enjoy drawing while I'm traveling is because it's an even greater challenge, because everything's in movement. So let's say you're drawing a bicyclist. 1 minute you see the bicyclist, the next minute it's gone. And at first, when I started to draw from life, I found this very frustrating, especially in classes where you have someone posing for you. You notice that 1 minute they're sitting like this, and then later they're like this, and like this, and like this. And then when you're drawing them, you're like, well, pick your head up. Why did you change the angle? When you changed the angle, your nose changed, or your mouth shifted. As a student, I would get very frustrated with those slight changes, because it makes a big difference in the outcome of what you're drawing. But as you try to draw while you're traveling, you notice that those frustrations happen even faster. 1 minute it's there, the next minute it's gone, so you really have to learn to look. And not only look, you'll notice that as you're drawing, you'll see that the shapes become repetitive. see a satellite dish over here, and then you're like, oh no, it's gone, and now what am I going to do because I lost my reference material? But as you go down 10 minutes later, you're going to see in the next block another satellite dish that looks very similar to the one you were just drawing. So you can keep looking at the same satellite dish or a different satellite dish, but you can still work on the satellite dish you were drawing. So it's good because you'll notice how things repeat themselves. One tree can become another tree. And the most important thing isn't the result of what you're trying to achieve at that moment. The most important thing is not the drawing, but the practice of drawing. And not concerning yourself with the result, but with the experience of capturing something on paper and the experience of really looking at what you're seeing. So I have a few sketches. Some things were done quickly. I went to a baseball field and was drawing some of the baseball players. You know, and some of it, as you also practice this method of drawing, you will see that you'll get much faster, and you could draw things from your head which have a more 3D look, which will look more authentic to the life around you. So it's a great way to improve your skills, and you can really have a lot of fun. And then if people come up to you and start talking to you and complimenting you on your work, or criticizing it, you know, you'll learn to welcome that, because you can draw to please yourself, but ultimately my goal is to make artwork that other people enjoy. So if that's your goal, you need to hear what people are saying about your work. So the criticism or the compliments, all those things are very important to know what kind of message are you delivering through your artwork. So, but what I'm talking about here, sketching and traveling on the go, this is more to develop your skills. So I'm just gonna hold up a few things in front of the camera that I've sketched. Later I'll be doing some videos where I show examples of portraits that I've done and more finished work that I've created. Just hopefully it will inspire you or give you some examples of the things that I'm talking about. Some of these things I might have been sitting for a little while and I had a little more time to work on, and other things were just going really quickly on the way. And I'm going to show you, I have an example right here of tons of little images that have happened as I've gone along on the subway train. Standing at the subway, waiting for the train to show up. You're there every day. The view is always the same, so you know, the birds change, the clouds change, the people change, the weather changes, but the main view that you're looking at when you're waiting for your train or bus to arrive is going to be the same. So it's a very handy place to do some sketching. So I hope this becomes very visible to you. So here I sketched some graffiti, PS1. This is like some signs, the trees, subway handles, stop signs, a little sun coming through, the barbed wire fence, another fence, trees with signs, a bridge. I don't know what this is right here, but I often see those on top of buildings. Different attendants, stop signs. All these kinds of things are just the kinds of things you see every day. So that's one good way to get some practice. Now this here, it's another, tops of the building. This is kind of like a compilation of different things that I saw on my trip. So these buildings might not really have been next to each other because while I was on the train, everything's moving. So I just sort of made it look like it's one scene when it really is many different images I see on my way. This is, you can see the bottom of the sketch pad which I worked on, but this is the scene from the 7 train waiting for the subway outside where I lived. So the birds change. Over here it's funny because there's always like little birds and they would always line up in a row, and it's funny to see them. Sometimes they're spaced evenly apart, sometimes they're spaced separately. I imagine that they're having little conversations. And so that's the view from the subway. And then over here, this is a baseball game. So I'm not sure what view I was sitting because I kind of drew it like the ball's flying towards me. But I was sitting in the baseball stand somewhere, and I think I was pretty far away. But, you just look, and as you see that the figures don't change that much, and as you begin to draw people, you get a better idea of their body structure. And also baseball players tend to take the same stances over and over. So it's also another way to, get some practice. And here, maybe I had a little more time, I'm not sure. But this is a park that I used to go to a lot. And I noticed that, it's just like the chairs look cool. And I like to draw those kinds of things. Here, this is something I didn't really finish, but there's like some little birds. You'll see how the birds change their shape as they fly. And if I wanted to, I could go back and finish this. But again, to me, it's just the practice of drawing the birds in their different shapes. So I think that's it for now. Hopefully it's a good introduction to sketching. No one learns how to draw overnight, unfortunately. It takes a lot of work and dedication to what you're doing. But for me, artwork has always been something I've enjoyed doing. So hopefully, if you enjoy doing it, or if you enjoy looking at what artwork, hopefully this will help you understand the process a little bit better. And I guess that's it for now, and I look forward to having another video session soon. Have a good day.